स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. Namaskar to all of you. Welcome to the study of Bhagavad Gita. Today we are continuing the study of 60th verse of the second chapter. And also we will be going to the 61st verse too. Before that, we have one small announcement. Dear devotees, please note that the live chat has been enabled for this video. If you have any questions relating to this discourse, please type it in the live chat and I will try to respond to them at the end of today's discourse or next week's discourse. Now, we will start the proper Bhagavad Gita by chanting one of the meditation verse on Bhagavad Gita. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramarthanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Now we shall chant the 60th verse and completing the discussion, the deeper meaning of the 60th verse, then we will go to the 61st verse. Now, the 60th verse of the second chapter, that is Yatato Hepi Kaunteya Purushasya Vipaschitaha Indriyani Pramathini Haranti Prasabham Manaha. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. Shri Bhagavan Vacha. The Blessed Lord said, Yatato Hepi Kaunteya Yatato Hyapi Kaunteya Purushasya Vipaschitaha Indriyani Pramathini Haranti Prasabham Manaha Yatato Hyapi Kaunteya Purushasya Vipaschitaha Indriyani Pramathini Haranti Prasabham Manaha. In the 60th verse, first we shall go to the word-to-word meaning. Kaunteya, O Arjuna, O son of Kunti, Arjuna, he, indeed, Pramathini, the powerful sense organs, Indriyani Prasabham Haranti, forcibly they carry away our sense organs. Manaha, the mind, api, vipaschitaha, purushasya, of even a wise man, yatataha, who is striving to control his mind. Even such a person who is vipaschitaha, a wise man, and also yatataha, who is striving to control the mind. So even such a person's mind will be carried away by the very strong indriyas. So they are very strong. You should be careful. That is the simple word-to-word meaning. Now we'll go to the simple meaning. O Arjuna, indeed, the powerful sense organs, forcibly carry away the mind of even a wise man who is striving. So here Krishna says sense regulation is not that easy. Sense control is not that easy, from which we should learn two lessons. One lesson, if one fails initially, you should not feel guilty because the indriyas are very powerful. So the person will be failing many times or sometimes, just like a man who is walking may trip. There may be so many hurdles. So nothing to worry about that. He may fail in attempt in the beginning and therefore one need not feel bad. But at the same time, Lord Krishna wants to teach another very important lesson also. Since the indriyas, the sense organs are very powerful, it requires a lot of alertness. So we should be always alert. We should not be sleeping. We should not be caught unaware. That's what Krishna wants us to alert us. So therefore, one side we should know that if you fall, you need not feel guilty. If you fail, you need not feel guilty. And another lesson we learn is that we should be always alert. So that is the simple meaning. Now we have already gone through much of the discussion, maybe in our two classes, two sessions we have taken over through this. We have passed through the meaning and we have gone to the deeper meaning. We were in the 3/4 of this discussion. Now we shall go to that portion where we had stopped in the last discussion. Now the question is, we were discussing how to convert the knowledge of Atman which we have gained by the Guru and all those scriptures Lord Krishna has given. The beginning of the second chapter, up till now we have seen the knowledge has been given about the Atman, our real self. So now all that knowledge of Paramatman or God is to be converted into our mental strength or emotional strength. So how to do that we had discussed in the last class by Vedantic meditation, assimilation. First it is Shravana, then Manana, then Nididhyasana. In Vedantic language it is called Nididhyasanam. Now in this Nididhyasanam, Lord Krishna prescribes three disciplines. We had also discussed about that. So in the next chapters, in the 61st chapter, we will be going into the details of that. What are those three disciplines which Krishna had told about? So the three disciplines are, the first discipline is sensory restraint. We should not allow the sense organs to go here and there wherever it likes. You should take control of it. So that is sense regulation, or the first discipline is sensory restraint, sense mastery. So what is the purpose of sense restraint? Why should we do that? Because sense organs, all our sense organs, you know which are the sense organs: our eyes, our nose, our ears, our tongue, our touch, the skin, or the other organ that touch the skin. So they are like the doorways through which alone the world, the external world, the sense objects enter our mind. They are the doorways, or the mind goes out to the world. Either way, you may call it either way. So the senses are the doorways. They are just like the doors from which our mind can go out to meet the senses, or the world can enter our mind, the external world, this world of sense objects. So my mind does not have direct access to the world, or the external world doesn't have direct access to my mind until these doorways, the indriyas, my sense organs, allow them to go. So that's why we have to restrain, we have to control our senses. That is the only doorway. Otherwise, there is no question of those entering my mind or my mind going out. So the mind can never contact the world directly. It requires these fivefold channels. So the world enters either in the form of sound, through the ears, or in the form of smell, or in the form of taste or touch. So the fivefold universe enters my mind through the fivefold entrance, the gates, the doorways, and every part of the universe. What are the sense objects? Shabda, sound; sparsha, touch; rupa, by the light we see so many forms; rasa, we taste, which is from the earth. We taste so many things; or gandha, the smelling. So that is gandha. The rasa is from the water. I made a mistake. So it is rasa, gandha tattva. Sorry for that. So gandha is capable of entering my mind and agitating me. Now let us take the example of shabda. One example of shabda. What is this shabda? Sound. So you are telling something to your son or your daughter, or to your wife, or to your father or mother, or to your boss, or to your colleagues, or to your subordinates, or somebody, neighbors. So then they don't agree to your word. When you tell do like this way, they will tell no, we are not going to do that way, we'll do some other way. Some words, that's all. They were just words, some words. But you take so many meanings to that. You go on giving so many commentaries to it. Then you will even give sub commentaries. So you go on imaginating so many things. That's why I tell many times wild imagination. So within you start imagining so many things and putting yourself into problem, thinking so many things of so many people, whatever they have told. Just one word, that's all. Or a sentence. They were just jumble of some sounds. That's all. But they could agitate you. You will take up so many meanings because of your tendency of your mind. You will start imagining wildly, give so many colors and meanings to it, and you can see there will be huge wave of disturbance in your mind. One word or some a sentence, just they are jumble of words. That's all. So you will be upset just for few words or some sentence. So your mind is disturbed like a bug. So a bug enters your ears, and whether the son or the daughter or the wife or father or mother intended that or not, your superior or the subordinate, while he refused or told some words, he didn't mean it. But you will start imagining so many different meanings and worrying and crying and wailing and weeping and thinking over that again and again, the emotional build-up. So commentaries, sub-commentaries, vyakhyanam, so tippani, footnotes, so many things. Just like when somebody writes something, then Shakaracharya to Bhagavad Gita, he will give commentary. Then his disciples will give sub commentaries. Then somebody will write, another generation of people will write tippani, footnotes. So now you start doing all these things in your own mind, then there'll be a mental breakdown. Who was responsible for that? A few words. See now, suppose the same words are broken in a different way. Whatever FOOL, fool, idiot, or something like that. And immediately it goes into your mind. This you start feeling, thinking, you might have been imagining like this, that way. So it was just few words. Suppose now a baby, small baby, it doesn't know the meaning of that word. It will tell something fool instead of calling you father. So in Hindi, it is called Baba. So then the baby will call Daba. Will the father get angry? Or the baby by chance, instead of telling that father, some mistake it will call a fool. Will the father get angry over it? No. Because now it was his baby, child, unknowingly told. So he will take that as words. But when somebody else tells outside, then you will start imagining so many things. Why? Because you connect that with your ego. You identify all those things with your individuality or ego, then get into problem. But if you identify with your Atman, there will be no problem. So now, one word can disturb you. This is one sense organ, the ears. So that sound can create so much of, then it may disturb you for 3 days, or that mental breakdown or disturbance may be for 1 month, 2 months, or 6 months, or even the whole lifetime. You'll be suffering from some words, that's all. If that is the case with just the ears, the sound, then what about the other indriyas, the other sense organs? What will happen to you if this is the case of one just sound? Then color, the form, then there is the touch, then there is the smell, then there is the taste. So what can all these indriyas do? They can create havoc. That's why here Krishna is telling, Lord Krishna is telling, Haranti prasabam manaha. So it will take you just like the boat is taken by the waves in the sea, tossing up and down and anywhere it likes. So like that, you will be in the midst of a tornado or a hurricane. So now they are capable of disturbing our mind. When the mind is disturbed, you cannot assimilate good teachings, good things, knowledge. So now you cannot convert this knowledge you have learned, the good things you have learned from your guru. You cannot convert that into emotional strength if you have so many things disturbing your mind. That's why the first discipline told by Lord Krishna is sense regulation. If you have that, if you don't, first of all, allow them to go out. That's why the discipline is called Shama Dama. In yoga, it's called Shama Dama. So you don't allow the senses to go out to the world, or allow the mind to go through the senses to out to the world, or doesn't allow those things from outside to enter your mind. So that can be happening only through your senses. Without the senses allowing it, they cannot. So that's why the first discipline is sense regulation, sense control. So the first discipline we have undergone through this, why it is necessity, why it is very, very important. So for you to convert this Vedantic knowledge or the knowledge of Gita or the knowledge of Atman or whatever God, Paramatman you have heard from so many scriptures like Bhagavata, Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, Mahabharata, all those teachings, you have to now, you have got the knowledge, you have to convert it into emotional strength. How can it be done? Until you don't do the sense regulation. If your mind is always disturbed, so it cannot happen in a disturbed mind. So the first step, discipline given by Lord Krishna is sense regulation, control of the senses. When the mind is disturbed, it cannot retain the knowledge which we have gained from the Guru and the scriptures. So, which is required for assimilation. So it is just like the example can be given of a freshly made floor. Now flooring, and when you are constructing a new building, you have put the cement there, the flooring. So now, or you might have put the red oxide or something special thing, the flooring has been done now. When you put the flooring in a fresh way, it is not yet set. Therefore, what should you do? Until it sets, the flooring is to be protected. But once the floor has become strong, when everything is set and dried, then even if you bring in an elephant and make it walk on that, nothing is going to happen. But when it is not set, it is raw. Everything you have put there, the red oxide or the cement or whatever, is not well set on the floor. Then even if the lightest person walks on that, it will start creating disturbance, or it will, the imprint of that steps wherever you walk will be put there, and it will not allow the floor to set. It will disturb it, and everything is gone. So until the knowledge which you have got into your mind by the Guru, by the Nidhi Shavana Manana, you have got the knowledge from the scriptures, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavata, Bhagavad Gita, all those things you have got so many knowledge. So it is to set in well. Until then, there should be no disturbance from these sense organs. So you should sense regulation, control. So after it sets, after it becomes firm, the knowledge becomes firm and it is converted into emotional strength, or you become perfect, your mind becomes sthita prajna, then there will be no fear. Then even a disturbance like that of an elephant or of that a big hurricane, nothing can disturb you. So that's why until the floor, the fresh flooring, you have to allow the knowledge of Atman or God or Paramatman to set in. Any disturbance in the mind can disturb the knowledge and also your mind too. Therefore, Krishna's advice is to avoid violent emotional turbulence, and the cause is our five sense organs, which let the world indiscriminately into our mind. But that does not mean that you have to close all your eyes, ears, and go and sit in a cave or in the corner. That is not the intention of Lord Krishna. So Krishna tells this very intelligently. Use the sense organs properly. This is called regulation of the senses, which is called damaha. In yoga, it is called dama. And now, in this verse, the 60th verse, this exercise of controlling the sense is not so easy. It can even make the greatest person to fall down. That's what Lord Krishna has told. It's not so easy. So, to control this, they are pramathini. They are very, very powerful. One has to be very, very alert. And therefore, Krishna uses the word yatataha api. Even a person who has controlled or restrained his senses may also fall down if he is negligent. So the sense organs can drag you anywhere. That is what they philosophically present to us in Ramayana. So we have to get some clue from Ramayana now. What is that which is giving allegorically or philosophically some idea can be taken from Ramayana? Remember what happened when Mother Sita, Rama were residing in the forest in Panchavati. Now present day it is in Maharashtra, Nashik, Trambakeshwar, 30 or 40 kilometers from there. If you go, you can find that. Lakshmana had built a wonderful kutira, Parana kutira, a cottage, and he was always guarding them. Rama and Sita were living very happily there. They were so full of bliss and joy. So here you can compare Mother Sita to all we living beings. She is the representative of all we living beings. Then what is Rama representing? Rama is Paramatman, Parabrahman, the Lord, who is bliss, Brahmananda. So Mother was enjoying that Brahmananda. We, the Jivas, will be enjoying. So Lord Rama is Brahmananda, which is spiritual truth, bliss of the Atman. Now Maricha, the demon sent by Ravana, Maricha, he took the form of the golden deer. He represents Maricha, the demon. Maricha represents the sensory attraction, the external world, the sensory attractions. Sita is in a very natural way very happy with Ramachandra. In spite of Rama being around, so one moment Mother Sita got fascinated by the golden deer. Now she loses control. She takes away her mind from Rama and puts that on the golden deer. Now haranti prasabam manaha. What was the consequence? The golden deer has its own method of dragging, and the ultimate result is permanently, or at least Mother Sita was lost from Rama for a long time, nearly 10 months. She had to stay there in Ashokavana with Ravana, so much of torture, so much of pain. So now this example from Ramayana can be taken compared with us, the living beings. Jivas, Mother Sita, now the mind, and Rama represent Paramatman, Parabrahman, the joy, bliss in his company. Now Maricha, the demon, in the form of that golden deer, is the sense attraction. Rama represents the spiritual Ananda, bliss. Similarly, even though Atman is with us all the time, the golden deer of this world, worldly attractions, the sense objects can trap us. And therefore, see, Mother Sita had given the mind to the golden deer only for a moment, and how she was trapped. Likewise, if we give our mind to these sense attractions, to the sense objects through the Indriya, then it can trap us and put us into permanent problem. So therefore, be alert. So now vipaschitaha, even for a learned person, we have studied all Ramayana, Mahabharata, everything, Brahma Sutras, Vedanta, Bhagavad Gita, we have studied all the scriptures. But even such a person who is well informed, is well versed in the scriptures, vipaschitaha, in a moment of weakness, when he allows, he is not careful, when he is not alert, in the moment of weakness, he can be distracted, and therefore we should be always alert. That is what Lord Krishna is telling in this 60th verse. We studied all those things. Now we are entering into the 61st verse. We have seen the first discipline. There are three disciplines Lord Krishna is telling. Now in the 61st verse, we will be seeing the other two disciplines, how we can control the senses, how we can convert the knowledge given by the Guru and the scriptures into emotional strength. So for that, three disciplines were told. First is the sense regulation. Now we'll see what is next. Lord Krishna will take us through that. Now we will enter into the 61st verse. So now I will chant the 61st verse. It is displayed on the screen. You can also chant after me. First time I will go through that. What is the 61st verse of the second chapter? Tani sarvani sanyamya yukta asita matparaha vashehi yasyendriyani tasya prajna pratisthita. So now we shall chant it. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. The Blessed Lord said, Tani sarvani sanyamya, Tani sarvani sanyamya. When that anuswara, sa, on that you can see a dot. So then yakara comes after that. It should be pronounced not as samyamya or sangyamya. It is yakara should be stressed. So it becomes sanyamya. So that is the Panini's grammar. It is to be pronounced like that. Tani sarvani sanyamya, Tani sarvani sanyamya, Yukta asita matparaha, Yukta asita matparaha, Vashehi yasyendriyani, Vashehi yasyendriyani, Tasya prajna pratisthita, Tasya prajna pratisthita. So this is the 61st verse. Chanting is done. We have learned how to chant. Tani sarvani sanyamya yukta asita matparaha vashehi yasyendriyani tasya prajna pratisthita. So what is the word to word meaning of this 61st verse? So we shall see the word to word meaning of this. Sanyamya, having restrained. Sarvani tani, all those sense organs. Yukta asita, the yogi should remain matparaha, with the thought of me, should meditate on me, should keep his mind on me as the supreme matparaha, supreme goal. He, because prajna, tasya, the knowledge of that person, yasya, whose indriyani, sense organs, vashe, are under control, pratishtita, they become firm in that knowledge. So what is the next step? First it was damaha, control of the senses, sense regulation, not allowing it to go to the external world to meet the sense objects. So now the next step is to keep your mind. So you are not allowing the mind to go out through the senses to the external world. So what should the mind do? Now you have stopped it going. That is a negative thing, that you don't allow it, but you should not suppress it. So what should you do with that mind? You have to, Lord Krishna is telling, keep it on me, matparaha, meditate on me, think on me. That is the way. Now, beautiful thing has been told by Lord Krishna, how to control your senses, how to control your mind, not going here and there. So much of attraction. First stop it, control it, then place it on me, meditate on me. So you can take this me as Atman, which is within you, but generally you have to take as the Lord, personal God, your personal Ishtadevata. You can, Lord Krishna is representing all the Ishtadevatas. It may be Ramachandra, it may be Ganesha, it may be Shiva, It may be Durga, Mother Durga, it may be Mother Kali, it may be Mother Saraswati, whomever you like. So Krishna is telling, Matparaha means make your Ishtadevata, personal God. That's the speciality. Many people ask me the question, how to overcome fear, how to overcome the senses. So keep your mind on me, then you can overcome all those things. So how can you make your prajna sthiraha? How can you convert the knowledge into emotional strength? Matparaha, by meditating on me, keeping your mind, which has been controlled, not allowing that to go out, the mind not allowed to go out through the senses. So place it on me, make it sit on me, within me, then that will control, that will not allow, that will not disturb your mind. That is the way you can control your mind. So now we have seen the simple meaning of this verse. Now we shall go to the deeper meaning. Having restrained all those sense organs, the self-controlled aspirant, spiritual aspirant, should remain committed to my pursuit, because the knowledge of that person whose sense organs are under control become firm. And therefore, Lord Krishna advises, Hey Arjuna, Tani Sarvani Sanyamya, Asita. Therefore, may you keep all the sense organs as your instrument. You should not be enslaved by them. Let them be your instrument. It should be under your control. Then that mind, which is not going out through the senses, should be kept on me, placed at my feet, or meditate on me, think of me, think of the Leelas. In the form of Krishna in Bhagavata, he has taken up, he has done so much of sports. As Ramachandra in Ramayana, you can find so much of sports of Ramachandra. The beautiful knowledge, the nature, guna, qualities have been shown. Meditate on all those things. Keep your mind on those Leelas, on the sports. Then you can control your senses. Otherwise, it's very difficult. So that difficult senses can be controlled by meditating on the personal God, Ishtadevata. So that's what Krishna is mentioning, the bhakti. Now you can see the place for bhakti, devotion has been shown by Krishna in a very, very beautiful way. Matparaha. So the yogi or the aspirant should remain with the thought of me as the supreme goal. So let them be your instrument. Let the sense organs be your instrument. They should be your instrument. They should not control you. They should not be your masters. They should be your instrument. You should not be enslaved by them. The sense organs should be your instrument. You should control them. When you are now driving a car, the wheels of the car should move according to the steering, the way you steer it, not the way the wheels like. The wheels, if they start moving, the front right wheel moving in one direction, the front left wheel moving in another direction, then the back right wheel moving in one more direction, and the back left wheel moving in another direction, you are turning the steering in one particular direction where you want to go. What will happen to the car? What will happen to your travel? So it is just like that. So you should be the controller of the senses. Let them be your instrument. Imagine while you are traveling by the vehicle, if the wheels decide for itself. Now another simple example can be given. You are taking a dog for a walk. You have a pet, a dog. It's quite strong, like Alsatian or Doberman or maybe Great Dane or Saint Bernard or Tibetan Mastiff, or some very big dog which is very strong. You're taking it for a walk. Now you'll see that most of the time the dog will be taking you around. Whenever it sees something, whenever it smells something, it will run there, it will rush there. Then after some time, you'll be wondering whether you are taking the dog for a walk or the dog is taking you for a ride? Who is the master and who is the slave? We do not know. Similarly, when the sense organs act like that uncontrolled dogs, we are supposed to lead those dogs. But often they lead us and therefore do not allow that to happen. That is what Lord Krishna is telling. So, Lord Krishna uses the word Tani Sarvani Sanyamya. Restrain all of the indriyas. But Sanyamya means restrain it, regulate it. It should happen like you tell. But Lord Krishna is not telling to suppress them. Suppression is different. Restraint is sublimation. You have to sublimate it. So, Tani Sarvani Sanyamya. Restrain them, not suppress. Suppression is totally against psychology. Suppression is really a dangerous exercise. Therefore, what Lord Krishna is talking is not suppression but mastery, sublimation. What is the difference between suppression and mastery or sublimation? In suppression, I just try to do something. Somebody has told me it is also force. I have to please him if he is my boss or if he is my elder. I just don't like it. I don't love to do that. But they have told I have to follow the command. So I'll suppress all my will and I will do it. That is suppression. I follow that because someone has told me. I'm not convinced. So let us take somebody has told today is Ekadashi, you have to fast. There is no cooking in the house, no food. So not that I value or respect Ekadashi and the Lord, but you do upavasa or fasting because food is not cooked, not out of devotion to the Lord, not out of that love to fasting, which is good for health. Nowhere else the food is available, and therefore I do the fasting. I'm not eating. Here, restraint is not based on my will and love and understanding, but it is imposed on me, and so I do it as a suppression. So, but when I love doing Ekadashi, I do it for the Lord, to please the Lord. It is out of love. I know the value of Ekadashi, fasting, upavasa. Then it becomes a spiritual sadhana. Then it becomes an act of love, devotion. When even the food is available, the best of the food is available there, the tastiest food, you will decide not to take it because you love the Lord. Out of love, you are giving it up. So that does not become suppression. All that varieties of food material may be lying around. You don't care for it because you love the Lord. You love that process or the vow of Ekadashi and you do it joyfully. You know you have the knowledge. What is the use of doing Ekadashi, fasting? How you can please the Lord and how it can improve your health, how can it can improve your spirituality, your control, your sense organs can be controlled by that. So you know that you do out of knowledge. So you are transcending, you are sublimating, it is growing out, it is mastery. So damaha, that restraint of the senses, tani sarvani sanyamya is damaha. Dama, that is Bhagavad Gita, it's telling, is not sensory suppression, but it is sublimation. So it is sensory mastery. Mastering over them, Arjuna, you have to do the next step. The first discipline is mastery over the senses, sense discipline. So what is the next process? Because yasyendriyani vashe, because the person who has kept the sense organs under his control, for such a person, prajna pratishtita bhavati, then his mind can be controlled, then his mind, that knowledge can be converted into the emotional strength then your mind becomes steady, sthita prajna. You will become a perfect human being. So, what is the easy way? It is not so easy to control the senses. So, how can I easily control them, keep it under control? I have to make my mind steady. Now, what is the way? So, after this Dhamma, then in this verse itself, Lord Krishna introduced the second discipline also. We have discussed in the beginning itself in the last verse, there are three disciplines discussed by Lord Krishna. First one is sense regulation, mastery over our senses. Second discipline is also introduced here. When the sense organs are withdrawn from unnecessary pursuits, we have a lot of extra time now, lot of extra energy. Everything is conserved. The mind is not running out through the senses. So much of time, so much of energy is conserved now. What to do? Then we start wasting our time. Ramakrishna gives us a wonderful example that if you don't have anything to do, you start playing cards, chit-chatting, speaking ill of others. So Paraninda Parachacha. And if you don't have that to nobody, then you will go open the TV, then you will open your WhatsApp, you will open so many things, Facebook. So once a guru was asked by a disciple, Guruji, what is life? All that is, all the time that remains in your life, other than Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp, and all these things on the internet, that time which remains for you, that is life. Because the rest you are wasting. You want to kill your time. So when you go traveling in the train in India, the vendors come with peanuts and so many other eatables. They tell time pass peanuts, time pass. They'll be telling. So how to pass your time? Go on munching something, eating something. So you're wasting your time. So then you catch hold of the TV. Then there'll be so many serials coming there. Then you will start surfing on the TV. Take that remote. Then you go on pressing the channels, 1 to 100 channels, and from 100 to 1, back and forth, like sea surfing. So when my indriyas are not going out anywhere, you have so much of energy, you have conserved, a lot of time is there. What shall I do? Go on wasting my time, watching TV, watching WhatsApp, just simply doing so many unnecessary things. So that is also very dangerous. There's a lot of time at my disposal. I do not know what to do and how to use my time. And the mind which does not have a healthy pursuit, what happens to that? It becomes very dangerous. That's why you have a saying in English, an idle mind is devil's workshop. Therefore, Lord Krishna wants to avoid such unnecessary pursuits. You have got extra time, you have got extra energy to dwell upon me. You have to meditate upon me. So, that is what Lord Krishna is telling. Use that time, use that energy to meditate upon me. That is the way you can restrain to those powerful sense organs. You cannot otherwise control the senses. They will drag you here and there. And how to do that? That's why Lord Krishna is telling, Mat paraha sanyamya tani sarvani sanyamya vashendriyani. Then what are you to do? Yukta asita mat paraha. They are established in perfect knowledge, who subdue their senses and keep their minds ever absorbed in me. Now, how to do that? There are 5 indriyas going in 5 directions. How can I now, after controlling that, keeping the mind, taking inside, that is damaha, keep it in one place, that is shama. So, on the Lord, who is in the form of Atman within me, how to do that? Now, we can learn that from Bhagavatam. So, in this verse, Bhagavad Gita 65 verse, Yukta, united, indicates absorption in devotion. Now we can see the devotion, bhakti playing its part. And Matparaha means towards the Lord, the personal Lord. Here you can take it as Lord Krishna, the devotees of Krishna. So Bhagavad Gita is telling, Lord Krishna is telling on me towards Lord Krishna. The word asita, seated, may be understood figuratively here to mean situated or established or meditating or thinking, the nididhyasana. After reading Bhagavata, the sports of Krishna, after reading the great master, life of Sri Ramakrishna, after reading Ramayana, life of Sri Ramachandra, all that in Bhagavata told about Narasimha, then Varaha, Vamana, so many other things, sports of the Lord have been discussed in Devi Bhagavatam, in Chandi, Durga Saptashati, Devi Mahatmyam, so about the Divine Mother. So like that you have so many scriptures where the sports of the Lord in Shiva Purana about Lord Shiva. So like that you have so many things about Ganesha, about Skanda, that is Subramanya, whomever you like, Ishta Devata. You can meditate on those things. Then that is how you can keep your mind at one place, not allowing the senses. That is the way you can control, master, sublimate, give it a higher direction. So how is that to be done? You are told it in a general way. So in Bhagavata it will give you the particular way, how to do it, how to control it. Having said that, the impetuous mind and senses need to be tamed. How can we tame that mind? Sri Krishna now reveals the proper engagement for them, which is absorption in devotion to God. How to control the mind? By absorption in devotion to God. Now let us take the example of King Ambarisha in Srimad Bhagavatam illustrates this process in a very beautiful manner. How each indriyas can be kept engaged in the Lord, in the pursuit through karma yoga, through worship, through puja, through vratas like Ekadashi and other things, through the observation of so many festivals, reading Swadhyaya, reading the scriptures, doing karma yoga, seva. So by all these things, how you can keep your mind absorbed in the Lord. So now King Ambarisha illustrates it so beautifully in a very nice way. How does King Ambarisha and Srimad Bhagavatam illustrate this process? This is very beautiful. You have to now note it. What does Ambarisha say in Bhagavatam? Sa vai manaha Krishna padaravindayoho vachamsi vaikunta gunanu varnane. Then karau harer mandira marjanadishu shrutim chakarachuta sat katodaye mukunda lingalaya darshane drishau tat bhritya gatra sparshe angasangamam. So like that King Ambarisha tells in the Bhagavata what is to be done. How should you control all the senses? So I will explain that in a simple manner in English. Ambarisha, the King Ambarisha was a great devotee of Narayana, Vishnu, engaged his mind in remembering, he's telling, in remembering the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, Lord Vishnu, Narayana. So how can the tongue be used? The Indriya, one of the Indriyas, he engaged the tongue in chanting the wonderful names, forms, virtues, and pastime sports of Lord. He used his ears, another Indriya, in hearing narrations about the Lord. Now his eyes, what is he doing? How is he using the Indriya? Converted, sublimated to keep it in the Lord. His eyes in seeing the beautiful deity of God in the temple, the picture, the image, the Lord, you can see through these eyes. Then his sense of touch through the skin, in massaging the feet of the devotees of the Lord, the feet of the great devotees, the great saints, touching and doing the Pada Seva, in massaging the feet of the devotees of the Lord, You can see that while going to Kedarnath, and especially I have seen that while going to Amarnath in the Himalayas, that in Kashmir. So nearly 40-50 kilometers they have to walk on all the way. There will be so many people saving money all through their lives, and then they will be coming there during that 2 months or 3 months during the Amarnath Yatra, putting some tents and places where they will allow the devotees to stay there, serve them, give them blankets. Very tired organ, his nostrils in smelling the aroma from fragrant objects that has been offered to the Lord, the prasada. It's called in Sanskrit term Nairmalya. So smelling that Nairmalya, the flowers which has been offered to the God, you should not smell them before. After offering to the Lord as a prasad, you can smell them. Only a dandy will do that, smelling the flower before offering to the Lord. Otherwise, the devotees, they offer it to the Lord as prasad, they take it. That's called Nairmalya. So that will be taken. Aghrana, Nairmalya. So the fragrant objects, the aroma, smelling the aroma of the fragrant objects that has been offered to the Lord. So the nose, the indriya can be used. Then what else? Our feet. How can I use my feet in circumambulating? If you go to Vrindavan, there is parikrama. If you go to Kashi, there is parikrama. Going around the whole of Kashi, walking, seeing the place of the Lord there, Vrindavan, Kashi and everywhere. Walking there to those places, circumambulating the temple, that is called pradakshina. So the temple, the legs can be used, and his head in paying obeisance to God, going down to the Lord, doing namaskara, bowing down the head, and his devotees, not only to God, to his devotees too. In this way, Ambarisha, is telling that he has subdued all his senses by engaging them in the service of the Supreme Lord, Lord Vishnu Narayana. So you can also take that cue from Ambarisha, and you can use all your sense organs, which are rushing, very difficult to control. If you do all these services, the seva, through your eyes, through your nose, through your eyes seeing the images, the beautiful photo, the image form of the Lord, through the mind, you imagine all those form of Lord is guna kirtana, through your ears, hear only the beautiful songs, the guna, the stories, the sports time, leela of the Lord. Through the nose, you smell only those offered things, Nairmalya. Through the tongue, taste only the prasada. Through the mouth, tell only the name of the Lord, chant the name of the Lord. Through your hands, the skin, this thing, you go on doing the pada seva of the Lord, the karma yoga. Then through your feet, go on doing the circumambulation, doing all the karma yoga. So your mind also can be engaged in thinking of the Lord, sports, imagining, meditating. So in this way, you can subdue all your senses by engaging them in the service of the Supreme Lord, whoever may be your Ishtadevata. That's what Lord Krishna is telling. Tani sarvani sanyamya yuktati asita matparaha. Engage in placing in the indweller, the Lord, the Ishtadevata. Lord Krishna is telling on him. On him means whichever Ishtadevata, the Lord is one and the same. So the Lord has given us the easiest way, very beautiful way how to sublimate everything. So practical way, the Lord has shown us how easily you can control your senses. That's the easiest way. So we will also, there may be some people who are Gnanamargis, Sankhya Yoga. They will not have the idea of personal God. They want impersonal, formless. So how to control the senses? How you can overcome? So now this is the surest way. Then you will not fall. If you have devotion, if you do the service of the Ishtadevata, just like Lord Krishna has promised, Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Yejana Paryupasate Tesham Nitya Yuktanam Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. In another place he tells, Durgatim Tatagachati, my devotees will never go to peril or get destroyed. I will protect them always. Lord Krishna has promised. The Lord has promised. Whenever the death came and about Markandeya was to be killed by the Yama, taken away, Lord Shiva came when he prayed to Lord Shiva and protected him, gave him eternal life. He became Chiranjeevi. So the Lord, if you have that devotion to personal Lord, you can control your senses, you can control your life, no mishaps will happen. That's what Holy Mother has also promised. If you think of Ishta, where will be the question of Anishta? Troubles and disturbances cannot come. So, pleasing the personal Lord, thinking, meditating, and keeping all your senses engaged in the form. I told you the ways, different ways of engaging all your indriyas. Then there will be no chance of fall. The Lord will protect you. But while you are going on the Gnana Marga where you don't have this personal God, Ishtadevata, then there will be fall. Just like I gave the example in the last class of Saubhari and Vishwamitra. So if you have devotion, personal God, the Lord will be always there to protect you. That is the easiest way. That's why Bhakti Yoga is told by Lord Krishna. It's very easy. But Gnana Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, when Arjuna asks him in the beginning of that Bhakti Yoga, Krishna told Sankhya Yoga is very, very difficult. You have to completely depend upon your self-effort. So there will be no protection from the personal God. Because how can the impersonal God, who is Nirakara, Nirguna, protect you? Completely you have to depend upon your own self-effort. But here, the personal God, the yogi will be protected always by the Lord. So the surest way and easiest way has been given. So no fear. Even the indriyas are very strong. If you surrender to God, if you do all the service, all the energies in the service of the Lord, then use all your senses in this way, it will be sublimated. And it's easy for the senses to be controlled and subdued and made tasya prajna pratishtita. Then you can get that sthita prajna. Convert the knowledge into emotional strength. So we will go on discussing still further deeply. The next class, you have got an inkling about it. We will still further go deeper and deeper, get the deeper knowledge of that in the next classes. Today we will end our discussion because we have already finished our time. This is the time. Now we can use it for question and answer session. If there are any question and answers in the live chat, I can answer that. I think we don't have any questions. No, there are no. So I've answered the last time the question that if one take one step towards God, God will take 10 steps towards us. The Rishi in the Bhagavata, Saubhari, had taken many steps. Then why God had not protected him? So just now I answered. People who take up the Nirakara, the Sankhya Yoga, they depend completely on the self-effort to realize that God in the impersonal way. They don't like personal way, Ishvara, they don't depend. So completely they have to depend upon their self-effort. That's why Lord Krishna is told in the Bhakti Yoga that Gnana Yoga or Sankhya Yoga is difficult. So Bhakti Yoga, you will be always being protected by the Lord. Personal God will be always taking care. So it will be easy. Saubhari was following the Sankhya Yoga. So there were many falls, but again, he got the understanding and got up. There will be never destruction. He only fell once. Then again, he lost so many thousands of years. Again, he has to do the self-effort and gain. But see here, Ambarisha had so much of trouble. He was also a Gnani, but he was a great devotee of the Lord Vishnu. So when who is that, Durvasa Muni cursed him, made a big demon and to destroy him, just he surrendered. Ambarisha just surrendered to Lord Vishnu. He had the force to even kill that, but he had devotion. So that Sudarshana Chakra was always protecting him, Ambarisha. So Lord Vishnu had kept that Sudarshana Chakra to guard Ambarisha that came and not only destroyed that demon, it also went behind this Durvasa Muni. Durvasa had to run to Kailasa, Brahmaloka and Vaikunta. Vishnu told, I too cannot. You have disturbed my devotee. Go and beg pardon from my devotee, Ambarisha. Then only you will be protected. Then that sage has to come and fall at the feet of Ambarisha, whom the great devotee had told. So when Ambarisha prayed to Sudarshana Chakra, then it stopped. Otherwise, Durvasa Muni would have been destroyed by that. So like that, if you have devotion, from any dangers, any falls, the Lord will be always protecting you. every inch. So completely surrender and have devotion to the Lord. That's the easiest way. I've answered that just now. Gnana Marga is quite difficult as Krishna has told, but Bhakti Marga, if you have the personal God, it's very easy. So Ramakrishna always used to tell, combine these things. Swami Vivekananda has also told, all the four yogas, you have to make Samanvaya, combine it nicely. Bhakti Yoga, Gnana Yoga, Sankhya, that is what you call the Raja Yoga, and the other yoga, Karma Yoga, is to be combined nicely. Then the spiritual progress will be very, very fast. So the Lord will be always protecting you. Ishtadevata, your Guru will be protecting you. It's very easy. Okay, we will end our session with the prayer by chanting one of the meditation verses of Bhagavad Gita. Om Mukam Karoti Vachalam Panghum Langhayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Paramanandamadhavam. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.